Hi, this is Vaughan in Nova Scotia, westgobelpottery.ca. I'm going to give you the results of all my Randy's Red tests, and I've posted some photographs at the end of the video showing the firing cycle, ramp holes, with some close-up pictures of the T-balls so that you can get the gist of what's happening. So you don't have to write anything down because it'll all be in little slide shots at the end of the movie. All right, so let's get this set up a bit better so you can see. And I'll just talk you way through a brief one. It won't be very long because, as I said, the results are all on the end of the video. So I started off where I fire my pieces very slow. Let's get you a bit closer. You don't need to see much else than the T-balls, really. So I fire very slow and in my normal cycle. So I started off doing my normal cycle, and I kept track of what I was doing with these sheets here that give you the ramp holes, and these are photographed at the end of the segment. But this was my very slow firing cycle. And as you can see, the well, it's not 10, it's kind of a 10 Macu. So basically, it went almost black and a very matte finish because I was soaking for an hour at 1750 and also taking it down from 2232 right down to 1750 very slowly at like 75 degrees an hour. So everything went very matte, and you got some really nice crystal formation. And that was Randy's Red with strontium crystal magic underneath the Randy's Red, and then oatmeal at the rim, which all melted down. So that was the first one, very slow. So I figured I've got something wrong here because it wasn't turning out red. And then I basically changed the firing cycle, and I decided to basically go up to the same temperature, which was 2232 or 2230 on this one, and soak for 11 minutes and basically take it down to 2000 degrees. Let's see, whole temperature rate very fast down to 2000 degrees, and I soaked for half an hour, and then I went down to 1750 at 219 degrees an hour, so controlling the drop still, and I basically took it down at 50 degrees an hour from 1750 to 1700, so it stayed in that range, but it still stayed a little matte, and basically lost a little bit of the oatmeal texture in the top, but it's a little bit shinier, but still no red. So this glaze does not like slow cooling at all. And I was dipping in a very thick coat of glaze too. My glaze is the thickest I've got of any of the glazes and all that. I can do a hydrometer, is it, I think, to tell the density. I'll post that as well. But no red. So this was not successful, but really pretty, you know. So I'm not disappointed in the piece. It's just that's not what I wanted. So then I changed the firing cycle again, and I decided to go with medium fire, just regular kiln, cone fire, medium. And it lost a little bit of the oatmeal once again. The strontium crystal magic didn't do its stuff because there was no slow cooling. And the red had a hint of red. Right on the outside there's a hint of red, if you can see it there. All right, and on the inside you can hardly see it, but there is a little bit of red on the inside. All right, so that was confusing. More red on the inside than on the outside. I have a theory, but I don't know if it's true. Maybe the pot gets hotter on the inside. I don't know, but anyway, we definitely had some red showing through on that medium cone fire, but still not what we want. So going on the grounds that the red was on the inside, this is number 1, program 3, and I did a lot of tests on this program. So this is actually photographed at the end, but there it is if you want to freeze the frame and just take a screenshot. That still didn't get much red on the outside, but there's more on the outside than the last test. But we had a lot more red. See if we can see it in the light there. A lot more red on the inside. And this one, the difference was I fired fast up, 333 to 1025, then 153 to 1125, then 250 to 2016, and then 108 to 2232, soaked for 11 minutes, and then I dropped really fast to 1750, just 9999 basically all the way down. It just means it drops naturally. 1750, and I soaked for an hour. So I got more red showing up again, but not as much as I thought you could get with this glaze. So basically we're doing fast, we're doing slow, and we're still not getting that red completely. And it's a very thick glaze application, so I've seen that on thing, but still there's the red on the inside. So why would the piece be red on the inside but not the outside? So here's my two theories. When you glaze a piece like this, I pour the glaze in and I pour it out, usually count to 3 or 4 seconds, and then basically dip the piece in the glaze, and then it's glazed. But when you do a dip like that, the moisture is taken into the clay from the pouring on the inside, and so the clay is actually less porous when you do the dip on the outside. So I figured that, okay, so let's try this theory, and then a couple of other changes too. So on the next pieces, I'll get rid of this one because this was a totally different test that I did in the middle. I glazed the outside first for 10 seconds, and we've got red. So it did what it's supposed to do, and it's nice because it breaks to black in the, when you've got a carving on the surface, fluting. So you got that breaking to black, which is what it's supposed to do. And it's still really red on the inside, which is surprising because I thought it would be thinner on the inside and maybe still going back to brown because it was less porous. But anyway, so this is 10-second dip on the outside, and then the firing cycle. This is number three. So this is outside first, 10 seconds, inside after. That means just pouring in and out. And the firing cycle was the same as I actually did, but I raised it up to 2250. No, that's that. No, I didn't. I kept this one at 2232. So this was, but I've got the red. All right. So I think we're on the right track. All right. The next one, I glazed identically with the 10-second dip on the outside and then pouring it on the inside. So it's red completely. Ooh dear, I've got to get in the frame, haven't I? But there you go. So we've got the red, but this is number 4. And on number 4, what did I change? I raised the temperature to 2250 on this one. So I actually increased it, but I noticed just on the top there, a little bubble, pinhole, and there's another one here, and another one here. So we're starting to get pinholing, which means the glaze at 2250 was probably almost the maximum it can go. But there's so little difference between both of these that I don't think it matters, 2250, 2232. So what I did next is I lowered it to 2245. Same glazing and everything. And I think we still have the red, but we got rid of the pinholing. And this was a textured piece. And it's still really red on the inside. Everything seems to be great when it's on the inside, but it's the outside where we can lose that. And these are glazed very thick. So, but you've definitely got the red here. All right, so that seems to be the answer, is to glaze thickly on the outside. and outside glaze, then double dip. So I double dipped this one as well, so it's actually got a very thick coat of glaze, but it stayed pretty red. All right. And then I decided to play on the last one because I think I got the red sorted out now. So I did just an iron sort of slip that's suitable for bisqueware, and I painted a few dribbles on the rim itself to just play around with it. And I think I dipped a little bit of white oatmeal just on the top as well that would run down, and it created a lot of runs. But that was with the iron slip that's 75% iron and 25% red clay made into a sort of iron wash. But still. And then I dipped the bottom. I have a green glaze that I call apple green. It's just basically copper carbonate, rutile glaze. But I dipped it to the bottom half, and it went black, which I really like, the bottom of it, having that two-tone green over the Randy's red. So I kind of like the way that did. It almost has a bluish tint in the glaze as it reflects in your vision. So so that one, I think, was just a playful piece, but there's the red on the inside again. All right, so I'm going to post all of this with all these pieces of paper. Here you go. See if I can see you again. No back on this chair, so I can't lean backwards. I'll be over the top. I will now start a group of tests on Tenmoku Gold, because somebody asked me about Tenmoku Gold. My glaze book's stuck in my shed, so I haven't been able to dig it out. But I'm going to do some testing on, because I get good Tenmoku Gold almost every time, but I'd like to figure out exactly what makes it go more matte and more shiny. So we'll see what that does. So, all right, Bourne Smith here in Nova Scotia. And it's the 6th or 7th, I think, today. 7th, that's right, yeah, because all of the nutcase stuff went on in Washington yesterday. That was very sad. Anyway, okay, so basically enjoy your lives wherever you are and have a great winter. All right, stay safe from COVID. Bye.